Shocka, I want to say
Yes.
thank you, bro, for joining me today. And as you know, Mental Health Awareness Week is here, and I know you're a big advocate. You've done a lot of work in your community and speak out about your own personal experiences.
Yeah.
And you know, before I sort of go into detail, if you can just tell people who you are, what you do, and then we'll sort of crack on with some questions in terms of what you've been doing recently.
I go by the name of Shocka. That's my music name that I go by. My government name's Kenneth. I'm an artist from North London, and I'm a mental health advocate. That's the short plane of it.
Yeah. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Now, thank you, and you know, and you know, again, I have to respect you because you know I know you at the moment you're in the midst of promotion on your latest body of work, which will come to in a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Which people you have to check it out. But equally, as I said, I reached out to you and said, look, I want to do something for Mental Health Awareness Week and have people share their stories and experiences to maybe help those who are struggling right now. And without you know sort of going into too much detail, if you can share what your experience has been with mental health, good or bad, from there, if you don't mind.
Um, yeah, I've got like a long battling relationship with mental health. It started in 2000 and end of 2011.
Okay.
I'll give you the brief history running up to that first encounter with it. I was in a group called Marvel for 5 years. There was three of us, me, Double S, and Vertex,
Okay.
three-piece grime group. We did amazing things. We toured with Chipmunk, Skepta, Diversity. I don't know if you remember Diversity, the group with
Yeah. They were killing it. Yeah, man. Yeah.
killing it, but they was doing arena tours. They brought us on tour with them, and
Nice.
then we got signed to an independent label called Risky Roads. Not a lot of people know about Risky Roads if you're not from the grime scene, but if you're from the grime scene, you know about them.
Are
They're
they
like
affiliated
Risky.
with Glenn Granny? I thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's her. Yeah, that's the person that signed us. That's his nan.
Okay. Yeah.
Rudo.
Okay. Wicked. Okay.
Yeah. So we got signed to him, which is his company, Risky Roads. Then we released our single We Know in 2010. Then the single didn't do that great. Then we got dropped from the label end of 2010. Then
Okay.
I ended up spiraling to like a deep depression off the back of that, going on my own journey, just spiraled and spiraled. And then the the aftermath of that was in the end of 2011. I ended up getting sectioned for the first time, put in a mental health hospital. That's for 5 days, and then I relapsed in the year after 2013. So I got put in hospital 2000 end of 2011, going into 2012. Then I relapsed in 2012. A year later, 2013, got sectioned again for like 28 days. Then I was doing well, and then I went back again in
Okay.
2000 and in 2016. That was the
Okay.
last time. So that was
Okay.
3 times. And then I remember I always share this story with everyone. I remember the doctor saying to me that you've been here for like a lot of times for your age. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
you need to do something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you can
Yeah.
do, but you need to figure something out. So yeah, that inspired me to go on a personal journey instead of just taking what the doctors are saying to me, do my own work.
Yeah.
So I ended up like doing my own work and just researching other people that's been through mental health issues to inspire me, and then seeing different ways that I can cope with it and manage with it. I stumbled across this woman called Louise Hay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of her, but if you haven't heard of her,
I
you need
haven't
to
know.
check her out.
Will do. Will do.
She's incredible. A woman called Louise Hay, and she's all about self-love and bettering your mindset. And she taught me everything I needed to know. I applied it. My mental health got better. To pay some respect to her and spread her message out, I did this song called Self-Love.
Yes.
And then I ended up getting signed off the back of the song. And the song did amazing things. Snoop Dogg posted it on his Instagram. Like, all this amazing stuff happened off the back of the song.
Yeah.
And then I released this project called Conscious Crud. And then that went to number 3 in the hip hop charts. And then I did the headline show for Conscious Crud in February.
Yeah. How did that go? Because I remember I
That
tried
was
to make that one and I was performing as well. I remember.
that was incredible, bro. My auntie's uncles was there. My auntie was crying. Uncles was there, bro. It was a moment. Like,
Oh, beautiful.
I watch the videos all the time. Luckily, I've got a cameraman that's always around with me, so he's filmed everything. Everything I've been doing of recently, he's actually been capturing the history. So I'm happy about that.
Nice.
So I can go back and revisit it whenever I want to. And then now, fast forward to 2020, just released Impact Over Numbers. So that's the journey as
Yeah.
as detailed as I can put it.
No, I love that, man. I love the growth, man, and you know, without even going into detail, it's beautiful to see high, low, to
Yes,
say low, and then
I call it.
come out stronger.
I call it the rise. I call it the rise, the fall, and the comeback.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Right before the comeback. I love that. I love that. And no, thank you for that. And what I was going to ask then is because for me, when it, you know, regarding mental health, so for my, you know, my mother's been sectioned twice.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of good friends of mine
Yeah.
have been sectioned as well, and I've had serious bouts of depression where
Yeah.
you know I'm literally paralyzed in the sense that not getting out of bed, feeling low.
Yes. Bro,
You
I've
know,
been there, bro.
yeah, and for me, it's been triggers that I kind of let slide,
Yeah.
then say, no, I've got it covered, and haven't, right? So I guess for me, when you talked about the first one, getting signed with risky roads, and then you mentioned the word you used, spiraling, and then getting sectioned. So I guess my first
Yes.
question was that an initial trigger, and if so, was it almost sort of not instant, but was it like, wow, that really knocked the six out of you, or was it like,
Yeah.
that happened, gutted, but guess what, you know, you can get another deal, but then it didn't happen. So you tell me a little bit about that little period, if that's okay.
I think that was a big trigger because I never experienced. You know, I always use this example. Yeah, you see Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he's had 50 fights and he's 50-0.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I believe if Floyd Mayweather has one loss, he's going to go into like a deep depression because he's
Right.
never experienced a loss before, so he doesn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Whereas there's other boxers that take losses all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Anthony Joshua could have easily spiraled.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because that loss was a big loss, and like,
Yeah.
so you need he's probably got an incredible team around him that kept him focused to handle that loss, which I never had. I never had no one around me. And that's why it's so important for us to have these conversations now, because I never had no one around me to show me how to bounce back and show me how to take those things on the chin and showed me how to build myself back up and showed me how to look after my. I never had none of that. So you can imagine what kind of space I was in. I was literally isolating. Like what we're doing now. Before isolation. That's
That's
why
right.
that's why this isolation period is so fun for me, because like I've practically been doing this for like the last 5 years, you know what I
This is
mean?
your
So
space.
yeah, so that's basically what I was doing. But the only difference between me isolating now and isolating then is that I've got information. I think that's the key to everything is information. That's what's killing all of us. It even says it in the Bible somewhere. I'm not too spiritual, but it says it in the Bible that the people perish because of lack of information. I don't know if you've heard that quote. Do you know what I mean? So, and that always stuck out to me. That's one of the main things that's messing everyone up is lack of information. There's not enough information out there. But that's changing because we're in the information age now. You've got Google, you've got Instagram, you've got everything. So for you not to not know how to help yourself in this day and age, you've got yourself to blame. And like that's where like I really would pat myself in the back because I took accountability and I really went out there and found the information that I needed to find because I really wanted to help myself. Do you know what I mean? And it took a lot because I had to go through it 3 times before I realized, yo, this is like, do you know what I mean? This is a lot. Like I got to help myself. And sometimes some people are more stubborn than others. There's people that learn their lesson straight, not learn their lesson, but actually I can say that. There's people that bump their head straight away and like, do you know what I'm saying? Figure out what they need to do, and there's people that have to keep bumping their head. So I'm one of those kind of people where like I got to keep bumping my head before I get the message. Before
got a
I
tougher
get the
skull than the
message.
rest of us. That's what that means. That you're not feeling the pain as much.
Yes, exactly.
in analogy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so now, thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned the first time in particular, the lack of support and people around you. So what did that feel like? So when you were maybe trying to express what you were feeling, if you even understood what you were going through.
I didn't
Right,
even express. I didn't even express for numerous reasons. Number one, I didn't know how to express or even articulate what it was. Number two, when I did start to realize that it could be mental health or like hearing voices and all these things, and then I started researching how people view those kind of things. I started understanding that like it's not even cool to talk about in society, and people, you know what I mean, and people look at it as like something evil or something. So I realized, oh my God, I don't even want to even bring this up.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? It's not like how it is now, where like you can open up to your friend and say, "Yo, this is what I'm going through," and
Yeah.
everyone, and we're having this conversation. Back in 2012 or even 2016, these conversations wasn't being had at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
at all,
Yeah.
bro.
You kind of answered the question had in mind, was actually how was it then received when maybe it opened up, and it could even be in a casual sense. I know in the past when some friends will say to me, how AniJAH, how you doing, but they expect me to say, yeah, I'm cool in it, and I might then say,
Yeah,
you know what, today's been a bit tough, and I kind of go in a little bit, and there's
yeah,
there's a little
yeah,
bit of a awkwardness, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that. So I guess, yeah, my question to you was, what point did that maybe reaction change when actually people were like, Shocka or Kenneth, whatever name they called you at the time, bro, it's okay, or
I
speak to
think
my
that's
man.
only changed. That's only changed as of recently,
Okay.
As of recently, as I've been doing all this work,
Mm,
and as I've been doing all this work, and like people's been seeing my journey, it's become cool to my friends. Like, yo, we can talk about mental health. Look what Shocka's doing. Like, this is cool. So
yeah,
now the man them like approach me and DM me and like we speak. But before then, like it weren't cool. Like these
yeah.
conversations wasn't being had.
I commend you, man, for that, because that's as you said, that's a lot harder to feel like, not even feel like, to have no one that understands, so therefore they
Yeah,
can't show any empathy. They again, their lack of information can't support you, and then potentially in a situation where you're getting drugged and maybe not getting the psychological help that you need.
yeah,
And you touched on it earlier when you said, after the third time, the doctor kind of saying to you, you've been here a few times, you need
yeah,
to start
yeah,
thinking of
yeah.
other things. But what was the help like for you? Because I know there's a lot of talk about people,
You know
just
what? There
wanting help.
wasn't a lot of help,
Mm,
There wasn't a lot of game-changing help. The only thing I had was like an intervention team that I got to speak to. Like every week, I had to go to like Wood Green, which is close to me, and sit down with this woman and tell her my thoughts and tell her what I'm thinking. And do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Just offload everything. Kind of like therapy, basically.
yeah,
And then they put me on medication. That was like about it. Literally it.
yeah.
Literally, there's not a lot of in-depth help
Mm,
out there at the time anyway. I don't know what it's like now. I think it must be completely different.
yeah,
But there wasn't like a lot of like in-depth help out there for me.
yeah. And I guess someone like yourself who's very, as I said, committed and honest and courageous about sharing your experience, that would
Yeah.
help others get the help as well. I guess certainly
Yeah,
help
exactly.
out as well. And
And
maybe,
I think who you get the help from is really important.
mm,
Because sometimes when you sit down with a professional, you kind of shut them off in your mind already. Like
yeah,
this person don't know what I'm going through, man. Do you get
yeah,
me? You're some
yeah,
professional. You ain't been in my world, so
yes,
you've already kind of shut certain mind, you shut certain place in your mind off already.
yeah,
Whereas when it's coming from like us and we look like them and we look like man them, yeah, it
yeah,
makes people intrigued. Like it
yeah.
makes people intrigued. Like I can't imagine how much people I must have converted that didn't really care about mental health and probably would look at it, probably are interested in it now because of me talking about it and
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
my
yeah,
history. So
yeah,
in a weird way, I think like everything I went through was for a reason. I think God used me for a reason to put me on this path because He knew like my journey is gonna spark some interest. So that's how I'm starting to look at it now.
that's
Anyway, I'm starting
beautiful.
to look at it now. Yeah,
That is beautiful to look at that like that, man. Like yeah, that is, there's so much strength in that. Um,
yeah,
and and I've in your lyrics, I sort of kind of come into your music, um, as well during those trialing times for you and being sectioned and coming out, trying
yeah.
to cope and coming back in again. Was music in any way help for you at all, or was it?
What? Of course.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, music was my therapy, bro. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? That played like 85% in the healing.
Yeah. Okay.
Being able
Okay.
to get those, because I feel like even if you can't talk to your friends, yeah, or family, you need to get those thoughts out somehow
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Somehow. It's
Yeah.
either you talk to them or you write about it or you make a journal, or if you're an artist, you express yourself, but you need to get it out of your system somehow because it
Yeah.
staying in your system is very toxic. And I'm lucky I got music and like, so I always knew. Do you know what? What would have been interesting is how I would have turned out if I never had music. I
Mm,
want to know what I would have used to express myself. If I would have spoke to my friends more, if I would have seeked a therapist. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
I'll be interested to see how I would have how that would have played out. Actually, I think I kind of knew that because I got music, I'm gonna find a way out of it because music was literally my healing tool.
I love that.
But like that's why I'm so that's why I'm so such an advocate for this, because what about the person that doesn't have something like music? How are they dealing with it?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are they dealing with it? So that's why like stuff like this is important.
Yeah, and I asked that obviously knowing that you're an artist and a musician, but it's because I know that when I've gone in, I call it my grey cloud moments when when the grey clouds appear and the forecast says, yeah, I'm getting grey clouds. I sometimes write, but I equally withdraw and just shut down, don't write anything, and whatever, and find it hard to then write. And then when I'm now writing, and it's in my mind this doom and gloom, which I think is depressing, but it's a reflection of what I'm experiencing. I kind of feel like it's a bad thing. But like I said, where knowing you and just watching you and following you on socials, and as I said, listening to your body of work now, it's like I'm hearing and feeling that, as you just said, it's inspiring you. It's your get out. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, I just feel that there's power in that, because I know that some artists, when they're feeling depressed, they don't write. They actually shut off from what is maybe their creative medium. So it's good to hear that's something that you said that you've identified that was always going to be part of your way out. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I
100%.
guess my question is then. So you talked a little bit about the challenges you had, the lack of support, and then you mentioned after the third time that doctor kind of was that comment gave you the kick in the ass, and then you did some research. And what were some of the common themes that you were seeing or reading or hearing about when you started to do research from other people who've had challenges, either been section or just really struggled with mental health? What was the common theme where people were coming out on the other side? What was that you started to see?
What do you mean? Like, what was their turning points?
Yeah, because I find sometimes, you talk about successful people, that some of them had something in common, that they always believed, or they had a vision.
It was purpose.
Purpose.
Purpose, yeah. They found purpose again.
Yeah.
Because I felt like my breakdowns was caused because I lost purpose.
Okay.
I felt like I lost my self-worth. I didn't know who I was because my self-worth was tied to music. So when that was going wrong, I went down with it.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas when your self-worth is tied to something bigger than that, so like when you start viewing yourself how God views you, as a special person, do you know what I mean? And as someone that's as equal as anyone else on this planet, then no matter what they take away from you, you still know who you are. Do you know what I mean? So
I love that.
So
Wow.
what I realized, most people found like a sense of identity, a stronger identity in something bigger than just their job occupation and how the world views them.
Yeah.
So that's what really changed. My identity changed. I started realizing I'm a powerful person, like music or no music, like I'm a human being. Like this instrument that I'm in is not a joke. Like when you start studying like what we can really do and what we're capable of, like it just gives you a newfound respect for yourself. You won't even want it this way. Do you know what I mean? It gives you a brand newfound respect for yourself.
Yeah. And in terms of your journey and what you just said there, a new sense of who you are.
Yeah.
Probably look at the world differently, see different things, having experienced the highs and lows and people. Did that change your circle of people and how you moved, or was it more re-educating your existing set of friends? To say this.
Yes, it was that. It was more. Okay. It was more re-educating my existing set of friends, and then some of them falling off. That's not meant to be on the journey. Then some new ones coming in to replace them. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was just everything just shifting and repositioning itself.
Wicked. And so, what are you doing now during lockdown? Because I know there's been a lot of stats and reports about how mental health or more people are struggling with it. So I guess those
I can imagine as well.
Yeah,
I can imagine it must be really hard. I've been getting some DMs from people that's been having a hard time. For me though, I can't say it's been hard for me. It's kind of been like heaven for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because like I've been through being section is like lockdown, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't go outside. You can't go
Yeah.
outside into the real world. You got to stay inside. You can only go to your room and go to watch TV and come back. So this is nothing for me. This is heaven for me. Like, but that's what I mean when I say this is heaven for me, because like I
Yeah.
actually can go outside if I want to. I can
True.
go to the
Yes.
park or like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, yeah,
Go shops
it's
and
really
whatnot.
not. Yeah, it's really not that difficult for me. But in lockdown, what have I been doing? I've been. Do you know what? I went on Instagram the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I went on Instagram, and I went on one of my friends' Instagram story, and
Okay.
she was asking everyone for their favorite number, and I was like, "What's this about?" But I just put it in there anyway. I said my favorite number is 8,
Yeah.
and then she came back and said, "Okay, cool. I'm going to give you a universal reading about that number."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" She was like, "The universe is." She was like, "The universe is saying to you that you need to take this time to reflect, so you don't make past mistakes." And I was like, "Wow." So
Okay.
like that was definitely a sign. So I've really been doing just that. I've just been reflecting, really reflecting, correcting things, getting better and better, seeing where I can improve. I
Mm.
just really took that message serious. I take those kind of things serious though. Like I'm a kind of person that like acknowledges signs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I took that really serious. That wasn't an accident that she gave me that message. So that's what I've been doing. I've been taking it easy. I've just been reflecting and like just seeing where I can improve, and yeah.
Wicked for that. And no, blessed for that. And I asked that, for people to hear maybe an example of what you're doing to stay productive and keep your mind right. Because, as I said
Yeah,
earlier,
I've been exercising too,
okay,
here and
yeah,
there. Yeah, I've been exercising here and there. I've been reflecting. I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, studying the greats. Everyone knows my obsession with Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, so I'm always
yeah,
like watching their journey and seeing how they did it, because they're doing what I'm trying to do, like have a music with a message and be just as successful as all the other artists
yeah, yeah,
with this message, and they've done that. Like J. Cole's solidified now. He's gone platinum with like storytelling, and do you know what I mean? And he's what I'm trying to be.
yeah, yeah,
So and they say the best way to know where you're going is to talk to someone that's on their way back. So he's, do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
he's on his way back, not on his way back in a negative way, like he's falling off. But I mean on his way back as in like he's been there and done it.
mm.
So yeah, I'm just studying his journey, studying Kendrick's journey, just studying all the time. Bro. It's so important.
No, that's good. With that as well, and again, I may be saying the obvious, but I sense you, apart from your album release, are you working on new content, or you thinking, well, not album release is there, as you said, reflecting, and let me just kind of not take a break, but chill
Do you
from.
know what? I'm so inspired by the response. I'm so inspired by the response that I've
Yeah.
started jotting down ideas and just.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get in yet, obviously, there's a lockdown. Even though studios are still open, I'm not going to get in yet. But I've been jotting down ideas. I've been so inspired by the response, because I was kind of nervous, because this project's completely different to all my other projects. It's deeper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's more emotional. I took risks on there with the subject matters, but everyone's loved it. So it's giving me confidence in my thoughts. It's letting me know that like I'm doing the right thing. Like following my heart is the right thing. Like
Yeah, yeah. I can vouch for that, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that, the album and impact of the numbers. But yeah, as you said earlier, you're a powerful being, and I feel like that essence came across or comes across in your EP, Impact Over Numbers. I really do,
yeah,
because there's a courageousness and a boldness about what you're saying,
yeah,
and
definitely.
then when you peep the topics and what you're saying, like, wow, like it's for me, it was like the realest thing I've heard. And and what I mean by that is like real means a lot of things to people, right? If you're on a drill thing and someone's talking about that life, that's real, isn't it? And so on and
Yeah,
so forth.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm always aware of that real. There's but for me, just in terms of the variety, the variety and depth of real life scenarios that you express throughout your songs
yeah.
is what is real to me.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I
You know,
get you.
yeah, from
Yeah,
Ven to Fake Friends to the songs about woman empowerment and how we need to help them with the self-worth and the role that men play in that, to Reasons, and talk about your mother, you talk
yeah,
about being sectioned,
yeah,
to then even just the idea of impact over numbers and what can actually music do for you in your life and as a person.
yeah,
I think that is real. Like that touches a lot of people, and the responses that from what you know that you've been receiving, I think are testament to that. So again, when you talk about powerful being, I'm only excited for what more you'll deliver, the more that power that you have and you are acknowledging is added onto the wax. You know,
Yeah,
and put
definitely.
to the
No,
pen.
the
Because
album was gonna
you know what I mean? Because your confidence will you're confident
will
anyways.
grow.
Let me just be clear on that.
Yeah,
But it's like, I don't know if you ever watched Super Saiyan. You know, when they,
yeah,
you know, you're familiar with Dragon Ball Z and that, just that, I
yeah,
feel like a Saiyan level, that response is going to give you, and you're just going to just go, wow, okay. And as you said, even more free of thought without the, how is it going to be received? It's going to be
yeah.
like that. But as I said, I can talk all about those things. But I guess my thing is, and you touched on that, is, yeah, you know, what inspired impact over numbers? And I appreciate it's obvious, but it'd just be good for people, again, who are not familiar with your body work to really understand from you why you felt this is the time to do this type of work.
Because we're just in a numbers obsessed generation at the moment.
Yeah,
Like, it's clear, like everything we do, do you know what I mean? Like, how much views has it got? What's the likes on it? And I've been caught up in that too, like
yeah,
lost in it. Like, I was at a point
yeah,
where, like, if someone DMs me, the first thing I'll go and check is like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
numbers.
I know you mean that. Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
remember when I knew like I was really getting sucked in, yeah, was when my you know where you can check who's liked your pictures and everything.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
it crashed, didn't it? I think it crashed for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
I couldn't see no likes or no one liking my stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
I was panicking in that.
yeah, real
I was
talk.
like, right, what's going on? Like, why not got no
Yeah,
likes? That's when I realized, like, okay, yeah, like this is
yeah,
getting too I'm
yeah,
sucked in.
yeah.
And
Wow.
then yeah, from then I just started trying to break out of it. But the impact part came from Nipsey. You know, Nipsey's passing,
Yeah,
Nipsey Hussle.
yeah.
That like proper inspired me. I was like, yo, like the way he impacted people and the way everyone has had good stories to share about him, about what his music done, and some of everyone's posting his interviews, and I was like, yeah, I want something like that. Even if my music don't connect now, maybe later on people start saying, yo, he was been telling us, you know what I mean? Like he was, you know what I mean? So that inspired me, like proper.
Yeah, and actually, that reminds me as well. Actually, on and I feel like I'm spoiling it for those who haven't heard it, but your letter to cadet is in a similar vein,
Yes,
where the interview
yes,
you have of him talking about how he wants to
yes.
be, you know, reminded like that, and yeah, and I don't know why I even missed that out in my description of the EP, but that again is a powerful song, because you talk about why you liked him and as well as
Yeah. Yeah.
who
Hmm.
happen to catch this, happen to catch this interview, and like you said, they're not creative in the sense they don't have that creative outlet or any outlet at all. What advice would you give somebody who's struggling in general, but particularly more brought on because of the lockdown and whatever insecurities that might be? And what advice would you give them?
I always say use this time to find a way to become your own best friend, because
Okay.
that's what life is actually forcing us to do. It's forcing us to stay at home and to face ourselves. Like, think about it. When in history have we been stopped from going outside? So it's forcing everyone to stay indoors and face yourself. So
Yeah.
now is the time to if you can become your own best friend, you basically won the game, because that means that voice in your head can't hurt you, because you know it's not trying to hurt you. It's your best friend. It's trying to guide you. I think what's happened is that people have become enemies with that voice in their head. They think the voice in their head is there trying to attack them, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's showing you your insecurities for you to deal with it. Like, there's a woman called Louise Hay that I was telling you about, and she said
Yeah.
something that's so sick. She was like, when you are in the process of trying to learn self-love, she said, go into a mirror, say something good about yourself, and see what pops up. And the negative stuff that pop up is the stuff that you need to deal with, because that's the stuff that you've been telling yourself that you're unaware of. So what she means by that is, like, go into the mirror and say
Yeah.
to yourself, I'm an incredible artist.
Yeah.
And then if a thought pops up and says, no, you're not, you've got 2,000.
Yeah.
If a
Yeah.
thought pops up and says, no, you're not, you've got 2,000 views, yeah, then you know straight away. She says, don't get angry at that thought. What we do
Yeah.
is we get angry at the thought. She says, you're meant to say, thank you for showing me what's been holding me back. These are
Wow.
the thoughts, do you know what I mean? These are the thoughts that's been holding me back. So if you go in the mirror and say, yo, I think I'm really handsome, and the voice in your head says, no, you're not. Remember that girl in year 6 that said you, and you say, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
That's what's lingering around in my like subconscious. Do you know what I mean? So
That's very wow.
basically, like, use this time to go into, because I like to look at our minds like bedrooms, messy bedrooms. So use this time to go into that messy bedroom of your mind and just clean everything up. The
Yeah.
stuff that you don't like. Don't get upset with the stuff you don't like to see. That's why people don't go into their minds and do the work, because they're scared of what they're going to see.
Yeah.
That stuff can't hurt you. It's your mind. You know what I
I
mean?
love
Like,
that.
just clean it up nicely, man, and just do the work, man. You'll be grateful that you've done it.
That wow. Yeah. I love that. That analogy. One with the mirror, but also the bedroom, and keep that. Yeah. I'm definitely that guy that looks into his mind, and not only doesn't like all that he sees, the bit he doesn't like that he sees I start to feel ashamed about it, dwell on it, but don't really tie it up, dust it off. And yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's been my default setting, and somehow been able to manage, maintain, or what I say, put on my mask, and you know, talk a good game.
Keep going. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know how that's it, and that's when the issues has been like that. So my wife would tell me, she'd see it like clockwork, but obviously
Yeah.
I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, women are like that, man.
Yeah,
Women, they've got a next
God,
intuitive like
yeah,
sensor, bro. My mom says it to me straight. You're not feeling good. You're not. What's wrong with you? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? They know, innit?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
they've seen you on different vibrations, so they
yes,
know. Seen you happy. They've seen you, so they know so they can spot it. No, you're not yourself today. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's
so
it.
yeah.
And then my ego kicks and says, no, what are you talking about? I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always do that. It's like it's a default. It's like it's on default in
Yeah,
society to
that's
do
it.
that.
Yeah,
I still do that to this day. Like,
yeah,
I still do that. Like, one of the maddest things happened to me, not mad, but it just showed me how like we think. And even me, I fell into this. Like, my mom asked me to go shop for her. I think it was yesterday, and I never had coins.
okay,
And she was like, "Do you want to take my card?" She didn't know I didn't have coins. I didn't have
right,
coins. She was like, "Do you want to take my card?" And I was like, "No." Do you know what I mean? And then she gave me like a mad order. And in my head, I was thinking, nah, I actually do need the card. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
I just said, because of pride, I was like, no. And then before you know it, I'm on the way to the shop with this mad order, but I made it happen, but just shit like that.
yeah.
Shit like that, but it's just,
I don't know why we do it, man. Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's just one of just we want to prove that we're okay. I've
yes,
in my head, I'm like like my wife would, she's very intuitive, so she'd give me
yeah,
advice. So I'm also equally showing my ignorance here now, because I would acknowledge advice.
yeah.
She should probably say that's not true, and then but in my head I'd be like, no, I need to solve it in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what I tell
Yeah,
myself. I just this false narrative, because maybe I think that if I don't, then I'm always going to be like be led and not lead.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the way that then I don't take in help. You know,
yeah, exactly. Yep.
you know. So that's so again, yeah, everything you're saying is literally I could picture it in my head, like that is me, and you know I don't know why I do it. I
Yeah,
constantly working on myself. But a question I've got for you though,
yeah,
a bit of a random one. What
yeah.
and you've already touched on it. You know, you already going out. But let's say lockdown's officially over. You know,
Yes.
social distancing over. What's the
Yeah.
first thing, man like Shocka wants to do? What's been in your head? Do you think, you know what?
Do you know what? I'm a homebody. That's the thing.
Okay.
I'll be at home. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Like this, I feel like certain things just fall into certain people's favor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is like, say this social distancing rule was like something different where like we all had to be outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a nightmare for me. Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have fallen into my favor. But like it just happens to fall into my favor where like we all have to be at home, and I love being at home. It's just not my fault that
That's
it's
cool, man.
falling that way. You know what I mean? It's just how the cookie has crumbled. So I'm not really excited to do too much. The only thing I'm probably excited about is to do my Impact Over Numbers show.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one thing I'm pissed about, like, because this body of work definitely deserves a show. It
Yeah.
deserves it. I want to do a live band and everything. It deserves a beautiful show. That's the only thing I'm pissed about. Apart from that, there's nothing. I would like to. Do you know what I'm missing? Trains. I don't drive, innit? I used to take trains.
Yeah.
I miss being on the train. Weirdly, like I just miss that whole process of getting on the train. I ain't done that in a while, but I'm not really missing too much, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm cool. Like, I'm proper cool. Everyone knows me. I'm a proper introverted person. You can tell by my music that I'm really
You're
in my head
self-aware.
kind of
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
proper.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, but listen, there's nothing wrong with that. And as I said, you're making it cool. So whatever the stigma is about, you know, as I said, mental health, this section, having vulnerable thoughts, your music makes it okay. It sounds cool, and then equally, you know, even just who you are, bro. You make that cool. So
yeah. Thank
we
you.
need more people like you who are, as you said, just know who they are and powerful and are being themselves, because it makes other people want to be.
Yeah,
It makes me want. That's
definitely.
why I wanted to just do this interview and this talk with you, because I watched you from afar. There's a lot of things you were saying which I was, you know, I said in your EP that I can relate to, and
Yeah,
you talked about. As you can see, my train of thought goes from here to here to here.
I love that. That's how
Yeah,
mine is. That's how
yeah,
mine
yeah.
is. I love that. I love that shit.
And I've heard you, you know, you talked about the frustration with the show. But what I'm in my head, I'm thinking, well, fuck me, excuse my language. When when you now do the show, it's gonna be rammed. It's
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be sick.
it's gonna like you talk about the favor. It's gonna sway in your favor, like because
Yeah,
I mean because people are gonna really marinate this body of work anyway. The fact that
yes,
maybe they can't get it, and then when it now, it's like yo, whatever date that is, bruv.
yeah. It's
So
true.
that's
That's
how I
true.
look at it. So
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm one of them kind of guys anyway, where like I don't know, man. I feel like God loves me, man. Seriously, because like shit just always falls in my favor. Even the way I dropped this project in lockdown, like it just fell in my favor because I felt like if this wasn't lockdown, this project wouldn't, still would have had the impact, but not like this because like it's just how the world is. Like it's like
yeah,
it was just the perfect time, fam.
yeah,
Everyone's sitting at home. Everyone's in an introspective kind of
yes,
mindset anyway, naturally. So
yeah.
it was just set up to receive it well.
Well, it's mad, you know, because I remember you put out a post about music, and you talked. What was the question you posted? It was something around artists and talking about what's happening now. To you know, is it important for an artist to talk about current, you know,
Oh
relevance
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah,
now?
yeah,
And my
yeah,
long-winded response to
yeah,
that, but
yeah,
the madness of it all is that actually that's exactly what you've done with Impact over numbers, because it's
yeah.
all about impact, and you know, and this what we're going through is impacted everybody, and it's
Yes,
making people who didn't
exactly,
have the time, like you said, to
exactly.
get to know themselves or really peep even music that they listen to already but never really peep the lyrics to do that. So they're
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
space to do so. So well, as you said, it's perfect. It's perfect. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I look forward to the show.
The
Look
only
forward to it.
thing, the only thing that I think lockdown has hindered me is the videos.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I can't put together some beautiful videos for this
Yeah.
project, man. Like, I had no, I'm not gonna say it actually,
No,
but
yeah.
I'm not gonna say it because I'm gonna leave some element of surprise. But yeah, man, it kind of messed up what I wanted to do for some of the videos. But I'm still gonna find some creative ways to bring the videos to life, though.
Mm.
There's always other ways. Maybe some of them I might have to wait till after lockdown. I might actually have to wait because they really need to get executed properly. But then some of them I'll try bring them to life during lockdown, see if I can do something creative and bring them to
Yeah,
life.
man. Yeah, bro.
But like for a reason, I'm gonna wait, man, because that needs that the idea I've got for that video, man. It needs something beautiful. I can't just put anything together for that because that's like a delicate like song.
Yes, it is. Because that's the one where you got that in that song you talk about, yeah, kid losing a baby,
Yeah,
not kid, mother losing a baby, but
yeah,
also if I'm, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure it's the same one where you talk about the guy who wants to, you know, end his life hanging, drop some food, passerby sees it and is grateful for the food. Have I merged two
no, that
songs
could be
into one?
worse. That could be worse.
There we go. So there we go. I'm gonna edit that.
Yeah,
But yeah. But again, even things like that. But yeah, for a reason, definitely. I feel could be worse. To be fair, that song, that line in particular touched me. But yeah, Rob, I could ask you questions all day, and I'm really grateful for your time. I'm gonna say this. I want to end it like this. Shocka. I'm so glad, and it's easy for me to say this, but like you've survived your experience.
mm-hmm.
I and it, I'm glad you said it and not me in terms of you feel like things happen for a reason in that sense, because like who you are today, the man you are, your movement, I think as I said before, it's a gift to the world. I think people need to hear more people like you who
Mm.
like are speaking it passionately through music, because
Yeah.
and then saying it's part of life. You know what I mean? I just think you're needed, bro. So I really want to thank you. Last thing I wanted to ask you about just before I go was, I read somewhere that you do on your Snapchat sort of conversations to young people around mental health. Now I don't know if I've misunderstood it or heard different. Was that right? Or
Nah, it was a documentary.
okay.
Yeah, it was a documentary with Snapchat, on Snapchat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And it was, again, and how was that received? Was that to do with just you as an artist, or was that, again, everything, the story in terms of your
Yeah, the whole
challenges?
story, everything. But it was sick. It was received actually well. It was
Good.
sick. And
Brilliant.
like, it was to like a wide audience because it's on Snapchat. So, and Snapchat's global.
Yeah. And is that still available now as well? So I know Snapchat, they don't really
Yeah,
share
it
stories.
is, you know. Are you on
Yeah.
Snapchat? You're not on Snapchat, are you?
I used to be. I used to be, so I can go back on it. I do for my own mental health. I do social detox. So now and again, you'll find me just
Yeah.
like not posting.
It's on YouTube as well, though.
I look for it on YouTube then. Yeah,
Yeah.
wicked.
It's called Mind Yourself.
Mind yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
And Louise Hayes, the other person that you mentioned.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I've written her down, so I'll check her out as well. But
Yes.
bro, man, listen, honestly, again, thank you, man, for sharing the story and your guidance and advice.
Man, pleasure, bro.
Shocka, honestly, man, I could talk to you all day, man. And please stay in touch. I love what you do, and just please stay in touch, bro, man.
Yeah, you got my
you're
number
really
now
well.
anyway. So
Yeah,
anything, bro, just shout me.
I will, brother. I will, man. Stay blessed, man. Have a great day, yeah.
All right, then, my G.